Hi, my name is Christian Jensen. I'm the Executive Director of My Team Triumph Wisconsin. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video of our annual report of 2020. I'm excited to be able to share with you some stories and statistics of our mission in the community in 2020. 2020 really changed our lives in drastic ways. It challenged us personally and professionally. Many things we planned to do were canceled or changed as a result of the pandemic. In essence, what we do was altered outside of our control. Change like this often causes a sense of loss, leading to frustration, sadness, and anger. These are normal initial responses to such times. However, what comes after our grievances? What makes those who thrive during these times unique? We have two options: give in or get creative. Inspired by our captains who are committed to living their best life and are experts on thriving with creativity, we shifted our focus to how we do it rather than what we do. We believe authentic, life-giving relationships are essential to a high level of well-being. Isolation has made it more challenging to access these relationships, but the need for them could not be higher. As we move beyond 2020, our commitment is to be present, to press in when we feel like stepping back, to be creative when we feel captive, and to trust in the power of human connection. So let's go back to the very beginning of 2020, which in our minds really was when the whole pandemic struck. And I want to share with you our approach, really our response to the pandemic, a number of the things that we did to get creative in our mission. So the very first thing that we did was meet as a team, and we started to brainstorm and really have big philosophical questions of where does the mission of My Team Triumph exist within this COVID world, and how we go about doing that. And one of the things that really was apparent coming out of this meeting was that we were made for this time. My Team Triumph is out to address social isolation for people with diverse abilities. That's what we do. It's why we do it. We're not necessarily just a racing team. Running, biking, triathlon is really just the mode in which we accomplish our mission. But it's all about that isolation. It's always been about that. And so that's what My Team Triumph is all about. And so we really felt strongly that we have to be present during this time for our community. So with that as our foundation, we focused on getting creative. And the next thing we did was to meet with our medical director, a physician at Bellin Health in Green Bay, to come up with some policies and procedures of how we can go about doing this. So like I mentioned, really pushing forward through the pandemic was important to us. We use these policies and procedures to be innovative. For our in-person events, we hosted training runs and a number of races throughout the season. But we also did some virtual opportunities, such as the Miles for Triumph, our Omnium for Triumph, and many more that we'll talk about later. But one of the great things about the in-person opportunities that we did provide is that we had zero reported COVID transmissions from any of these events. And that was a testament to the work that our team did on putting those policies and procedures together for our mission. We also do an impact report every year. We survey our members on a number of things, a number of subjective and objective questions that get to their feeling about the impact of their experience with My Team Triumph from the last season. And I want to share some of those stats and stories with you now. So when we look at retention, we look at the number of people that kind of come back year after year. And we always love to add new people to the family, but we always also love to see people that come back. And last year we had 72% roughly of folks that were involved for multiple seasons continue to participate. So that speaks really closely to the relationships that we have. We have a very strong core of people that really love connecting and serving and laughing and having adventures together. And I wanted to share this quote with you that one of them completed on the survey. You can tell the group is welcoming and values the relationships built above all else. I find everyone I come across is involved with MTT to be kind, genuine, and inspiring, just by being themselves. That kind of authenticity is important to me and makes me want to be part of the organization even more. We also asked our questions on a number of, also our members a number of questions on life satisfaction. So over 90% of those that responded felt more inspired to step outside of their comfort zone, 90% more satisfied with their lives, 80% more purpose and sense of direction in life. 60% have developed a strong social network through My Team Triumph. So these statistics really speak to the importance of connection and what the My Team Triumph experience can provide for people. We've asked these questions for years, but we really felt like this was a time to really make sure that these relationships are intact going through 2020 and now into 2021 with COVID. Next, I want to share with you a video from one of our captains. This is Jenny speaking about isolation and some of the challenges that she faced while being isolated, but also how the My Team Triumph experience really helped her get through this time. Let's enjoy this video.
Hi, my name is Jenny Ulrich, and I am 32 years old. I am from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I am a captain in My Team Triumph. I have been involved with My Team Triumph since 2015. It all started with the Triumph Mile, which was the day before the Bell and Run, where the captains, the disabled athletes, get to walk or do their own mile, and the angels are cheering them on. And I walked the entire mile myself with my angels. It took me 4 hours and 33 minutes. My Team Triumph is what I look forward to every spring, summer, and into the fall. With COVID this past year, isolation has been a big thing. And it's been hard for all of us. And recently, My Team Triumph has found small ways to get involved because they're seeing how much it hurts, the participants, their captains, angels, how much it's hurting them to be apart. Someone like me with a disability, isolation is so much more. It hurts a lot, not only physically, but emotionally, psychologically, mentally, because we are human beings and the need to be with people. And for me, I need human interaction. You fall into depression, you fall into anxiety about things, and it starts to come out. And other people start noticing it, and you too. And you just not knowing what to do and taking away what's fun, but also what's crucial in life. Recently, I started doing Zwift with the Triumph at Home program with My Team Triumph. And it is a great way to get physically involved and, get some miles in. I especially love it when I can have my computer set up with Zwift, with me having that hand cycle, And then my phone is set up with a Zoom call with another captain or an angel, and we're chatting away as we're Zwifting together. To have those moments as we're talking and doing it together is a lot like as if we are out on the road. And, it has the same qualities as if we're actually doing it out in the world. But we're in our own homes, we're just on a virtual road. I love the racing community way more because we can just take a race that we did together or even that we've heard of together and be able to, converse about it, talk about our pain, talk about our joys. And it's as if I never had a disability. So I want to thank all of the sponsors who supported my Team Triumph in 2020. Your help was tremendous and helping this organization keep going and help every one of us, angels and captains, together through isolation. Thank you so much. Your donations were greatly appreciated. From my heart to yours.
All right, you heard from Jenny there. Great gal, one of our Ironman athletes. Just an awesome person, and it's been great to connect with her over the year and hear a lot about how she's been feeling through this time. So she's super resilient and very positive and very inspiring, and that's part of what we want to do too, is just have these connections together where people are lifting each other up, and she's a great example of that. So let's continue on the impact report and learn more about what people said from their experience with My Team Triumph. So in the overall well-being section, we had 81% of people say they felt a greater sense of optimism about facing challenges in their life and felt more peace and or joy. 80% report having an improved sense of inclusion in the community. And 87.5% developed impactful relationships of people of all abilities. The next stat we asked was we asked a number around COVID-19 specifically. And the next one we looked at was amount of time spent outside of the house. And I'm not going to break down the pie chart in detail for you, but you can see on the screen that what we all know is that basically, we spent less time out of the house. During lockdown, we are inside more, and we're therefore isolated and distanced from our close connections. So that's something we all know, but of course, that directly correlates to the number and the quality of connections that we were able to experience. Overcoming challenges. Really some interesting data here to share. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, 56% of people felt anxious, 40% lonely, 40% are dealing with challenging family relationships, 32% financial stress and pressure was affecting them, and 28% reported experiencing depression. And then we asked folks what has made them feel better during the pandemic. 82% getting exercise, so that good old physical activity. 56% chatting with someone. 44% taking a nap, and 38% having a goal or putting something on the calendar to work towards. Next, I want to share this stat, this testimonial, which came from one of our participants who was taking advantage of our race chair rental program. We offered, and we'll talk more about this, we offered a number of families the opportunity to take a chair home with them and use that basically at their own convenience. And this is just an outstanding quote from someone that was able to take advantage of that. So I can't describe how much the chair lending program has changed our lives when we have had virtually no connection with anyone who's not paid to be part of our lives. It's allowed us to take Angelique on trails and paths that she wouldn't be able to access otherwise. We've been able to explore and stay outside and feed her curiosity in ways that would be impossible. During the periods where she had been noticeably showing signs of depression or had old trauma memories come up, being able to get her out of the house and go on a 3-mile trail so she could scream as much as she wants and get out her hard feelings, and then calm her body and enjoy the rest of her day, learn about nature, focus on her vision, and just be whatever she needed to be, allowed us to get through the last year. When things are better, getting out with the chair has allowed us to go from just surviving to thriving. And when they're really hard, it's what's helped us to survive. So very powerful testimonial there from someone taking advantage of that program. But it speaks to some of the questions that we ask about exercise and being outside. And what we heard a lot from our captains is that isolation, some of these people are living in group homes or are just not getting outside a whole lot during this time because of the concern. And while a lot of them are doing that out of concern of COVID, there's also very challenging side effects that can come from that, from a mental and emotional psychological standpoint. And so we definitely all saw that, but we know that from those that participated last year that they were able to see an improvement in their mental health. So let's talk about 2020 opportunities. So normally when we report this data, we're looking at numbers like 70 events and 1,500 captains and 3,000 angels. Of course, that did not happen. Numbers are much less, but let's start with training runs. So we were able to offer training runs in 5 of our regions. So Northeast, North Central, Lake Geneva, Fox Valley, and Eau Claire. And you can see that these are the number of opportunities that we put on. Northeast region had 104 captain and angel opportunities. North Central, 27 captain opportunities and 63 angel opportunities. Lake Geneva, 60 captain opportunities and 120 angel opportunities. Fox Valley, 69 captains and 138 angels. So you can see how we were still able to offer those training run opportunities that basically went from early spring through the summer and into the fall. Event opportunities, we were able to offer 48 captain opportunities and 105 angel opportunities through a number of events, including these here. Our 12 Hours of Road America event, the Road America Classic, which is a running event on the track, Door County Triathlon Training Days, Mosinee Firecracker 5K, YMCA Fall 5K, Burlington Turkey Trot, and a few more that aren't on the list. We also offered a number of opportunities through our Triumph at Home program that we mentioned. So we had our Miles for Triumph program, which was an awesome 2-month physical activity and connection challenge. It was a virtual challenge that we offered, and we had 41 captains and 163 angels participate in that. We were able to give 13 families a chair rental that they kept at their homes and used with their close network to go for runs and walks and bike rides. We put on a number of programs using the very powerful and popular Zwift program, which is a indoor cycling game essentially, where people of all abilities can ride and then also be social. And for the kickoff of this, we did the Omnium for Triumph, which was a inclusive group ride. And we had 5 captains and 5 angels participate in that. We did a really powerful live stream on our Facebook page. And subsequently, as we got into 2021, we've also increased that. We're going to really focus on the Zwift setup more and more with our captains. We find it's really, really popular. And that'll be something that will continue through the season. Early on, thanks to a grant from the Greater Green Bay Community Foundation, we're able to give 10 of these portable hand and foot cycles, as well as Zwift memberships, and all the equipment needed to captains in their homes so that they can ride in this platform and then ride with friends. So Zwift has really just been an awesome platform, and we plan to continue that moving in the future. A little bit more on the Miles for Triumph program. This was really one of the highlights from 2020. This was essentially the first thing that we did in terms of a program. We iterated on it and built it from the ground up within a couple of weeks, just after the pandemic hit. It was a 2-month challenge in which people of all abilities all over the state and really all over the country, we had a number of captains and angels from other chapters participate in this to basically see how much they can bike and run and do cross training and connect with others over the course of the 2 months. And as people did these challenges, they unlocked badges. We also had giveaways from our sponsors, and we had a number of financial sponsors who matched donations, such as from Fox Communities Credit Union and the Lofquist family and more. And it was just an amazing thing. We had this awesome Facebook group where people were just so engaged and sharing photos and videos of their workouts, and it was just a lot of fun. And that's something that we plan to continue every spring to really kind of kickstart the mission and get everyone active and motivated for the upcoming season. So that was certainly one of the highlights. In terms of in-person events, our most successful story was our own 12 Hours of Road America special event, which we started in 2019. So in 2019, we had 300 participants and raised $90,000. And as you can imagine, with that kind of fundraising in 2020, it was super important. So we really waited a little bit to kind of see how the landscape would be with COVID, and also communicate very closely with Road America on how they were handling the pandemic. And we could not have been more pleased with the partnership that we got with Road America. They had just an outstanding approach to dealing with COVID. They had all sorts of policies and procedures. It's a completely closed environment. It's 640 acres. So they can house literally tens of thousands of people safely in their facility with social distancing and all those measures in place. And so this location was absolutely perfect for hosting an endurance event in 2020. And so after waiting a little bit and then ultimately kind of pulling the trigger on making this event happen, we had record numbers of participants, 400, and raised a record amount of money, $115,000 in 2020. And we did a lot of things, as you can see here, on social distancing, masks encouraged when it was hard to distance, sanitizing food stations, individually wrapping food items. But one of the things that really struck me was just how excited people were when they were there. We had so many comments from folks thanking us for putting on this event. Thank you so much for continuing to do this and making this happen. And people were just so excited to have an in-person event, and it was really, really powerful. So this is something that we have big goals for. We want to see this be a multi-day endurance festival that draws people from all over the country and the world, and ultimately be a $1 million fundraiser for My Team Triumph. All right, next, the Road America Classic. So this event was something that Road America specifically reached out to us and said, hey, we would like you to help us continue the tradition of putting on our annual run walk in October. The charity partner they were working with had some restrictions and couldn't do it, so we gladly stepped up And we had 250 participants that joined us for this event. All of the same things that we did with 12 Hours of Road America, we did with Road America Classic. We also gave buffs to all participants, and it was just a really great experience for folks to get together and run and walk on the track. I mentioned earlier our Omnium for Triumph. This was really the kickoff of our Zwift programming. We did a really powerful live stream partnering with Nathan Guerra at Zwift Community Live, and we had 2,500 viewers watch this broadcast. And it was really the first large diverse ability group ride on Zwift. And we had a pro cyclist from Trek Segafredo, and we broadcasted this over multiple platforms, and it was really kickoff. We, like I mentioned earlier, we really see Zwift being a platform that we want to use more of, and we will be using that to get a lot of people with disabilities into this platform. So it's going to be a great thing. To give you a little bit more information about the Zwift program, it'd be great to hear from one of our captains and also kind of see it working in action. So recently I sat down with Kayla, Captain Kayla, who has been just rocking it on Zwift. And I asked her what she felt about this program.
My name is Kayla Kudik. I'm 23 years old and I live in Children Bay, and I am a captain ambassador for my team Triumph. My favorite memory is the Door County half marathon, and my other favorite memory is the one in New York City. The relationship I create with my team Triumph are really important to me because I don't have a lot of friends my own age, or even friends that will say, come on, let's go do a race. I feel like this is a second family. Even when we're not racing, we are chatting on social media. I've been doing my team Triumph at home for about a month, and I really enjoy it because it gets me active. I was not active as much before I got this bike. I love drift. And then you can travel with people all over the world from your own home. Multiple times a week, our angels get together, some of them get together, and we do the group rides where if you are not quick enough, but you keep pedaling, you will stay with the group. And some of our captains really need that for encouragement. Thank you for donating to my team Triumph at home and beyond.
Okay, let's talk about financials. Of course, there's a lot of organizations that really gave a huge focus to how they were going to financially thrive in 2020. And We approached the season with a very dynamic financial strategy. So we, of course, did a number of things to be very conscious of and be deliberate on reducing expenses. There are a number of things that we immediately addressed right away that we knew we needed to cut, but we also did some things just ongoing to really assess how we could have some cost savings. And you can see that from 2019 to 2020, we decreased expenses by about 7%. And that's pretty big considering the fact that we also increased expenses and investment into our 12 Hours of Road America experience because we really knew that that was going to be our biggest event of the year. From a revenue comparison, you can see also that we had a good year. We increased the amount of revenue that we were able to drive by about 3.7%. So all of that translated to this metric that we were really very conscious of, this cash on hand. So liquid cash in the bank that we could rely on. And we were able to increase cash on hand at year end from 2019 to 2020 by $45,000. So we're very pleased at how the season went in terms of financials and that we were able to end the year on a very positive note. 2021 focus areas. How are we looking to participate in the upcoming season? So one of the most important things is we really want to grow this Triumph at Home program. So that includes getting more chairs out in the community for rentals, getting more captains and angels together on Zwift, and all of that is going to be something that we are not just going to do short term once COVID is over, then we go back to not doing it. This is something that we want to do regularly, continuing moving forward. We also believe it's important to offer safe in-person training nights for every region. So last year we were able to do this in 4 regions, but as we move forward into 2021, we are going to bring training runs to every single region. We know now that we can do this and believe we can do this safely all over the state. So that's something that we're going to continue again in full force this spring. We're also committing to offering at least two in-person racing opportunities in each of our 8 regions. So hopefully if the event happens as normal, we will participate in that event. But if it doesn't, then we will host our own event for people to get together using the policies and procedures that are appropriate for that time to keep everyone safe, but still providing those great adventures and the fun that they all love and really help them to weather this pandemic storm. And then, of course, we want to continue to grow participation and fundraising around the 12 Hours of Road America experience. So 2021 is a year that we are recommitting ourselves to being impactful, to having a strong mission in our community. And we took some time to put together a declaration statement that really speaks to the heart of how we're entering in to 2021. So enjoy this. We believe in the spirit of love, fellowship, and commitment.
In the power of connection and its impact on the health and well-being of our community.
We are dedicated to being innovative in our approach to create spaces for our community to feel welcome, connected, encouraged, challenged, and safe.
We will collaborate with people of all abilities,
event organizers, sponsors, and partners
to reach those most vulnerable in their homes and in the streets of our community.
We will see people do incredible things, big and small, to create a community filled with hope, joy, peace, fellowship, growth, and healing. All right, so friends, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for your investment, whether it's with your time, talent, or treasure, into the mission of My Team Triumph. And I hope that you've watched this video and you have sensed that we are so committed to our mission through this pandemic and through the years that we're struggling with this. We are committed to being present, and we're committed to being resilient and focused through the season. And so we're going to be here for our captains and angels as we go into 2021 and beyond. And we invite you to continue to be involved and continue that support for our mission. So from all of us at My Team Triumph, a huge thank you for that support. And here is to a great 2021. Thank you so much.